So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for being here. A little bit about us. She is me, she's you, she's all of us, right? We're on a mission to help 1 million women create wealth through real estate while fostering personal, professional, and spiritual growth. So of course I can do this alone. So I appreciate that you guys join on the mission that we all work on ourselves so we can impact everybody around us, our families, our communities, partnerships, everything. So thank you so much for being here. We're live on Facebook. We would love to see your faces. I don't know if you're driving. If you can't, turn on your cameras. If you can't, it's okay. Um, our sponsors. So we have three sponsors. The first one is Be Wealth. Health is the real wealth. And Dr. Lucy focuses on a holistic medicine type of way. So if you have any kind of, symptoms, or you just want to talk to somebody who tries to stay away from all the chemicals and drugs and all that, go ahead and talk to her. The second one is Gap Tax Advisory Services. It's a tax planning for business owners and real estate investors. So we say it doesn't matter how much money you make, but how much money you keep at the end of the year, right? So go ahead and talk to her. Their information is there for tax strategy. And last but not least, we have Blue Heaven. Claudia is a licensed professional counselor who focuses on trauma. So it's been game changer for me, being with a therapist, talking about things that I didn't know they were impacting not just on my personal life, but as in business. So super excited to have them on board with us. So if you're looking for a counselor, give her a shot. You can have a free session, and after that, you see. She takes also insurance, so that's super super important. The first slide, and one of my favorite slides, is why it's important for women to invest, take control of their financial life, right? So the first one is women live 5 to 7 years longer than men on average, meaning most of the time we have to figure it out for at least 5 to 7 years on our own and live on retirement, right? So super important to make smart decisions early. The second one, women are more likely to take career breaks, often costing hundreds of thousands in lifetime earnings. Sometimes voluntary, sometimes involuntarily, from, starting a family, just starting a business, different things that definitely, sometimes we just have to take a career break. Um, Super important to have income during those times, during those career breaks. And 80% of women will be solely responsible for their finances at some point. That's kind of crazy. Again, either divorce, dead, remaining single, that goes along with this one, right? So at one point, we have to make those decisions. And women start investing later, on average 5 to 10 years after men. That's crazy. Sometimes I think it's just confidence, and I'm not really sure. One is like, okay, relying on a partner, or relying like probably this is not the right time for me. But some others is just the lack of confidence, right? Like not sure if investing is for me, or I'm not ready, or I haven't found the right investment vehicle or the right deal. All those things that can delay, if you look back, it's 5 to 7 to 10 years after men. The next one is most women are not tax strategy. And even though taxes are often their number one lifetime expense for all of us, for women, for business owners. So super important to strategize, especially if you are doing some sort of real estate business. It's super important to even before you do it, right? Like if these are, understanding your plans and see what are the tax strategies that you will be taking. And I know some of you were waiting for the strategy session today, tax strategy session today. Unfortunately, our speaker got something came up and she won't be able to be here. So we will talk about something else. We will reschedule her because it's a really hot topic and a lot of you have a lot of questions. I I'm not a CPA, so I do use a lot of tax strategies, but I'm not a CPA. So we're gonna leave that conversation so whenever she's here. And again, I put the link on at the beginning, and I'll put it right here on the chat. So if you wanna connect with her, if you have questions, feel free to do it. All right, the next one, last but not least, when women take control of their finances, entire families benefit. This is probably my favorite because when women make more money, everything changes, right? Like from our own family to our communities, our church, our everything around us. It's just because us as a woman, we try to amplify that. We try to share always with somebody else, and we're always have an eye out open for those in need. So that's super, super important because I mean it's here, right? It shows here on the stats. These are some events that we have had in different series. This is the last event that we had here in Houston, the Galentine's event. I'm not sure if you guys saw the pictures on Instagram, Facebook, but we had a lovely time, really, really good conversations. And it's just about bringing, women who understands what we're doing, what are we building, how are we investing, and all the things that we have to juggle at the same time, right? So really good event. We had a blast. Hopefully, for those who are here in Houston, hopefully you guys can join us next time. Okay, upcoming event. We have one in March 13 here in Houston. March is Women's International Month, so we're gonna be very active, attending a lot of events, but we're super, super excited to partner up with J.A. Mir. It's a really, really nice jewelry store here in Houston, and I'm gonna be interviewing her live, at the store with all of you. You can ask questions, but how she built her brand, her community right now, the trend and what we're realizing with AI, Amazon, and all these things. Like people really need to, whatever business you are, you really need to create an experience for your customers. Otherwise, you just get replaced by AI and Amazon and all these things, right? So she created this brand of jewelry, like I can order a necklace on Amazon, but her whole concept, how she's building a community around her brand and the experiences that she's creating for all her customers are amazing. So we're gonna go to the store, have a great time. We're gonna have some wine, checkerboard, and a perfume bar, which is really, really cool. So if you're in Houston, please join us. I'm gonna put all these links on the chat so you guys can get your tickets or connect with our sponsors. So I'll put them here on the chat.
And now, here's someone you want to hear from, our sponsor.
For over 15 years, Skyline Title has been a trusted name in Texas real estate. From first-time homebuyers to seasoned investors, our team ensures a smooth, reliable closing experience every time. Backed by a decade of partnerships and proven success, we take pride in protecting your biggest investment, your home. Visit SkylineHTX.com to learn more.
Cindy says okay, she's in listening mode. Okay, it's okay, no worries. I understand some of you. This is the time where you're making dinner or just transporting from one side of to the other one. So I appreciate if you guys stay active on the chat whenever you can, and we will have a very brief topic, and as I mentioned, I know some of you were looking for the tax strategy. We will reschedule her as soon as possible. And for now, I just gotta pivot, right? That's what we do. We just pivot in those moments where the speaker can make it. So I'll tell you today about what we talked at the Galentine's event, right? It was since we're still in the month of love and love is in the air, we talk about loving ourselves and not like bathtub and all those things, but more about building things for ourselves in the long term, things that nobody can take away from us. So I'll tell you a little bit about that. I'll tell you about the things that through my career I look back and I say, wow, I'm so glad I was doing this because this literally changed my life, right? And there, I'm going to talk about four main things that completely changed my life about, where I am today and where I was, and that I want to share with you so you guys can do the same. Of course, I would love to hear your input if you are available by the time to hear, right? But I'll start a little bit with my story. And I see a couple new names here. So if you don't know my story, if this is the first time, put a one in the chat so I can go a little bit deeper. But at a high level, right? I went to school, wanted to start my own business, and I got the degrees, business management, and all that. And then when I graduated from college, I didn't know what kind of business to start. I felt like I didn't have a skill set, right? Like I didn't have a product or service to start. So that was really frustrating because I had the degrees. You are supposed to know what to do with your life once you go and graduate out of college, right? Or you have a job laid out, but I didn't have anything, I was not looking for a job. I literally just wanted to start my own business. So good thing I had my dad as a mentor at home, and he told me, well, whatever business you're gonna start, you're gonna need money. So get to work, save money while you figure it out. And that's exactly what I did, was saving money. And at one point, working, my first job at a restaurant, and little by little finding better jobs, but saving money, working long hours. And at one point I had 45,000 on my bank account. And I'm like, I think this is enough to start a business. But again, I don't know what. And that's how I bought my first piece of land because I was like, while I figure something out, at least real estate is safe, at least real estate, it will appreciate, right? Like if you're not gonna lose your money in real estate unless you buy something really bad. But if you find a good location, it's just gonna appreciate with time. So that's what I was looking. I was like, well, I figure something out. This is what I'm gonna do. So I bought my first piece of land and I didn't know what I was building. At the time, I was just like, well, I figured something out, right? I didn't know that was the beginning of me building a life that didn't have, where I didn't put the control on somebody else's hands, right? So I was building something for myself. And back then, I had no idea. So after that, I started working for a real estate investment firm. They told I had experience on sales, and they told me, and with my college degree, they told me like, we're gonna teach you everything about real estate. You just need to go to events, talk to investors, be on the phone, and we will teach you everything about real estate. And I'm like, yes, of course. Where do I sign? This is for me. I'm like, of course. I was super interested in real estate. And, with the only experience that I had was purchasing that piece of land. So I got the job, and the first realization that I had is I didn't get such a good deal on this piece of land, right? Look, my underwriting, the numbers were off. I'm like, I'd paid higher than anybody else in the neighborhood. So I'm like, no, rule number one, never lose money. So I sold it. I sold it. I bought it for 40,000, sold it for 45, and then I just did it over and over and over again. Like it gave me the confidence to do it over and over again. And fast forward, it's almost 5 years. I've been selling, buying land for the last 5 years. I have closed over $1 million on transactions, on revenue in just in land. And I don't know, like I'm sharing this not to brag, but just like you never know what you're building, right? Now it's like, wow. But often I think as women, we will be building things we will be building on the things that don't last, right? Um, for example, a job can disappear anytime, right? We can get laid off from our job. Um, Business can slow down. The market has slowed down in land, multifamily, commercial side, like everything in real estate. So all those things that even if those things happen to us, even if the job disappears, what do we have? Like, what do I have if that disappears, right? Sometimes we build fragile success, right? Like titles, salaries, roles, or validation, external validation from somebody else, right? So just think about that. If you can put it on the chat, like, what are you building that you're not sure if it's real success, right? If it's fragile success, it's something that somebody can literally take away from you tomorrow, right? The other thing that really stuck out to me is fragile success depends on somebody else choosing you. Let that sink. Somebody choosing you for a job, somebody choosing you for a deal, and when you're building something, like you're choosing yourself, right? So I was like, that's mind blowing. Like I never thought about that, but it's like when you're building something for yourself, you're literally choosing you and you're betting on you. That's crazy. Because if somebody else controls your income, you don't own your future. Like somebody else owns your future, right? So, okay, let's get into it. I don't want to talk too much, but I do want to give you the four unshakable pillars that nobody can take away from you, no matter where you are, what you do, if the market changes, anything, right? So, number one is skills. It's crazy how, I told you my first job at a restaurant, then I started doing marketing for a company. Then I got my first job in real estate. So all that skill set was transferable. Like my sales background helped me to get into real estate. Then that real estate background, I learned about real estate. That particular skill set of just doing real estate for small single family homes land helped me start in the commercial side. When I met my partner on the commercial side, I told him like I have been doing all this in the single family space. Now I want to get into the commercial, right? So nobody can take away the skill set. The other thought that I had when I started in the commercial side is if this partnership doesn't work, at least I need to learn. I need to learn everything about commercial, because if this doesn't work, I can go work with somebody else. I can go do other deals, and nobody can take away that from me. Like everything that you learn, you take it with you. You put it on your toolbox, and if you walk away, you take it with you. So that's number one. The number two is ownership. In land, that's the first reason why I started investing in land, because I'm like, if anything goes out, at least I own this piece of real estate. Like I step into this land and this is mine, right? Nobody can take that away from me. When I branched into the commercial side, same thing, like I was building equity on all these deals. And, until now, like I have ownership on 1,600 units in multifamily, three developments, because it's ownership that nobody can take away from me, even if the market shifts, if the partnerships, and whatever I build, I take it, right? So it's the ownership. The income is temporary, but the ownership is what lasts and what compounds. The third one is identity, and that's, super. Sometimes we don't see it, we don't know what's happening, but the identity of who do you become as a woman, the confidence that, going through different transitions in life, building yourself, like the confidence that that gives you, nobody can take that away from you. Like with the confidence that of knowing that you can lose it all, but you can also build everything again, right? If somebody takes it again. So just having that confidence that you can do it, that, you've been through a lot and you've been through worse, and you can pick up yourself and start again if you have to re-strategize, pivot into something. Nobody can take that away from you. Resilience, you have the resilience to do it over and over again, to understand that, okay, this is a hardship moment. This is probably a difficult time, but eventually you will come on the other side. Discipline is also another of my favorites, like, showing up for yourself every single day, being persistent, either, if it's just like workout, being at the gym, or just showing up for your business every single day, making calls, talking to investors, to clients, to, just posting, or, different things that we can do for our business, for what we're building. Nobody can take that away from you. Consistency is what is going to beat up everything. And last but not least, on identity is brand. You know, super important to build your own brand, to talk to your people, right? Sometimes people say like, no, I don't, like, I don't want to put myself out there, or my business is not something that I need to market. On today's market, like, everybody needs to market, even if you're a lawyer, if you're a dentist, if you are a restaurant, if you, whatever you do, whatever business or product you serve, you have to have a brand. You have to create experience for your customers. And most importantly, sometimes we think we don't have a brand because we don't put ourselves out there. But the reality is, like, everybody has a brand, like, just because you're not active on social media and events and all that, that doesn't mean people don't have an image of you, right? So the brand is what people think about you, what people can, if people can relate your name to your business or what you do, your purpose, your mission, right? So brand, nobody can take that away from you, right? Like, I'm beyond grateful for the she community, that everywhere I go, I literally can't take it, because she is me, and she's you, and she's all of us, right? Like, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, like if I'm doing land, or if I'm doing commercial real estate, if I'm doing something else, it's just like the community of women, right? And that actually brings me to my last pillar, which is community. Because community is something that nobody can take away from you. Like, I know I can call Natasha today and be like, hey, I'm looking for this, I need this, do you have somebody? And she knows she can call me, and we do the same thing, right? Like, community is something that anywhere we go, whatever we do, we can pick up the phone and call and have somebody who understands what we're doing, right? The whole thing about she is like, we are surrounded by women who get it. We get what you're doing. We get what is to build a business and juggle other things. We understand what is to be an investor, and sometimes win, sometimes others lose. And, like, we really understand that. So having a community who understands all that, and that nobody can take away from you. Like, I can go to another country today, but I know I can take all of you, and you guys know that I will take you with me, and I will bring you to my network. So just being part of a community that understands. Oh, I love all the hurts. Thank you, Natasha. But those are my biggest pillars, right? Like, now looking back, is like, I'm so glad, I'm so grateful for the She community, for everything that we have built together, because in reality, it's like, we never know. Like, I tell people, like, attend events, show up, because the reality is, like, you never know who you're meeting. Like, you are one connection away from a completely different life. The most important thing is just to keep showing up over and over again, and with a clear purpose, speak what you're looking for, speak what you need, and if I can help you, probably I know somebody who can help you, right? And that's all about like you showing up with intention. This is what I'm looking, and this is how I can help you. When we come to the in-person events, we do this exercise where we tell you in one post-it, write the things that, one thing that you're looking for, and then write another thing that you can help with. And then we put them on, the goal is that you take the one of each. Every woman takes one of each, and you can help somebody, and then you can get the help that you need, right? So that's super, super important to have somebody who understands that, right? Who are in the same mindset that you are. So, as I mentioned, I don't want to talk too much. So I do want to hear you. And if you guys are, if you can unmute yourself, if you can unmute yourself, that would be really good. But I want to ask you, like, what are you building right now? Are you building income or ownership? Are you building a skill set in particular? These are the things that is, often we gotta kind of like pause a little bit and check, right? Like, what am I doing? Is this really gonna take me to achieve the dream that I have, to the bigger goal? Is this taking me one step closer to that? Because sometimes, like, we see our dreams way far. We have big dreams, right? And sometimes we get so caught up in the daily life, all the things that we are juggling, that when we open our eyes, when we pause, we realize that, wait, I'm not getting closer to my dream. I'm building somebody else, or I'm not spending time on something that is for me, and I'm not building something that is safe, right? Like we talk about fragile success. Like I'm just, building my career on the corporate world, which is really good, for income, stable income. But at the same time, it's like that can disappear right away, right? So if you guys want to share your experiences, that would be really helpful. And Natasha, are you able to unmute? There you go.
Yes. Hi.
Hello.
How are you today?
Good, good. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, I'm building mainly for legacy and so that I can give back and mentor to those that also want to learn other ways of doing things, and so that they also aren't subject to who chooses you. And I think it's very important to be able to choose the people that you want to work with and who you want to be around. And everybody isn't that fortunate, but if you can start early, you can be that fortunate. So I'm mainly in it to build a legacy. I'd like to be on the Forbes list myself, which is a little selfish part for me, but I would like to do it for everyone else. And, eventually, this might be a little selfish too, but I'd like to have a little statue, a fountain with the water of me in my hometown city, and for generations, you know, for all the family that gets money, there's a little fountain of me because I like to be cool and refreshed. So it'll be a reminder that if you put forth the effort, you make the connections, you try to do the things that make you money in your sleep, you'll be able to do these things for generations. And it's really kind of doing it for me, but then doing it for others because it's important to leave a legacy.
Absolutely, and I think that's beautiful. And I don't know if you were here at the beginning, but I was talking about when women make more money, like better things happen for everybody around us, right? You're talking about like build, your community, like helping a whole community, that your community appreciates what you did for them, and they do this honor to you. But that's is I don't think it's selfish. It's just like you pour so much into people, into community, complete entire communities that they, the last thing that they can you do is honor you with, a statue of you or, little things like that. Like you really leave a mark on somebody's life. Like you really change somebody's life.
Yes, yes, that's what I was hoping. And with the water fountain, because then it's always cool and refreshing. It reminds me of being a little kid, throwing the pennies in and make a wish, all of that.
Yeah, I love that. That's amazing. Where are you from?
Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay, yeah, you wanted it in your hometown city. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. Do you like, if you look back, do you see, are you grateful for some things that you built that were long-term success or something? Like, we talk about the legacy, but other things that you really think you did and that help you be where you are today.
Do you mean like from like my family or before or things like that?
Yes. Hmm.
So I come from a family of entrepreneurs and they've done a lot of things in the community. And I'm like a third generation missionary. So we actually even have a deal with like Publix where our church gives out food for like the neighborhood. And, we pick up different food and different things. And yes, so I pretty much come from a family of entrepreneurs that believe in service. So it's like they go hand in hand with everything. And I can even remember as a child, just saying to my grandmother, hey, we cannot keep picking up people on the side of the road that need a ride. Oh, this is scary. But she was like, oh, it's going to be okay. Back then it was a little bit you safer to do that, but there wasn't a person that I could think of that I didn't bump into that they were like, "Oh, your grandmother did this, or your grandmother did that, or your grandmother gave me a ride, or just something." And so I come from a family of service on both sides, from the entrepreneurial side and from the church side.
I
So
love
that's a
it.
family tradition for you, Natasha. Jasmine, I can witness to that, bear witness to that. That's how Natasha is and has been with me. And I've not known her for so long, but I could totally see and feel her heart. So I'm sorry, I just joined you. I am on my way to a Cub Scout meeting. That's partly why I dress the way I do, and it's partly why I'm on listening mode. My son is in the back seat, but I love your program, and I joined last time, and I want to continue to come. But this time is a little bit tricky, but I will try to make to the webinar as much as I can.
And I'm actually, we're on the process on switching things up a little bit for she, and that's one of the questions that I'm gonna ask everybody because all the time it's like a lot of people tell me like probably the time or the date is not a good day for you guys. So I do wanna ask everybody, but now that you guys are here, is this not a good time for you to join?
Well, for me personally, it's a little bit tough because of the scout meeting, and I'm a den leader there, and but he's moving up to Boy Scout, so so I should be fun for Tuesday night spot like this. I should be fun
Okay.
after April.
Okay.
He's
Uh,
moving up.
Because the other option that I was gonna give them is probably like at 2 p.m., like Tuesday at 2 p.m. Central. Will that be better for you overall?
For me, it's fun. I don't know about Natasha. Natasha
Okay.
is the busy one.
Yes.
Yes.
What about you, Natasha?
So at the 2 p.m. on Tuesday,
Oh, we have a call with Tim May.
yeah, Tim
Yes.
Mai. Remember
Tomorrow.
he does
Yes.
the
Yes.
stuff sometimes back and forth with you all too, Jasmine?
Yes. Okay. So I'll, probably like 3 p.m. So I haven't, this is one of the things that I have on my to-do list, just like ask you guys if early will be better for you because I do know that on Tuesdays evenings there's a lot of meetings and events happening around, a lot of them in person. So just wanted to kind of like do a survey, but probably like 3 p.m. Would that be better?
Probably the
Well,
4
4?
in, in
or 3:30, or maybe send out a whole survey, like how you all send the text
questions.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. But since you guys brought it up, I wanted to ask you. But yeah, I'm gonna ask everybody like what
yeah.
time works better. Okay. And now, I know you're busy, Cindy, but from what we talk about, like, what are some things that
That,
you think you're building or that you're looking forward to start building?
I love what you said about choosing, not letting other people choose you. And I love what Natasha said. I think it's aligned to what Natasha said about choosing your own team, so you don't feel stuck. And I think sometimes people, when they are working a job, they feel stuck. And then, sorry, Brenda, I'm going to go in a little bit. Let me just finish my conversation. Sorry, my son is in the back, wanting me not to miss the meeting. But I think that to me is very important. I think I'm at a stage where I prefer work with the people that I like and that I trust. And I feel like in Natasha talked about her legacy. I don't have such a grand legacy, but I think for me, I wanted to be able to have the options of doing things that I wanted to do and not having to always rely on my spouse for permission in a way. And that if my kids want to go to private school, there won't be much of a debate of whether or not we can finance it comfortably, and I can do it on my own if necessary. So there's just a lot of positive that comes with being financially independent, and it also proves, you know, a point that even though I've been out of workforce for maybe a decade or two, that I can still manage my own finance and I can still create something. I can still have a second act that's successful and that's meaningful and that is, you know, a legacy if you want to call it, but I would rather say that's more like a good role model for my kid, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But having said that, I need to kind of drive to go to our meeting. Very nice to talk to you and meet you in person, and I will see you next week. I'm going to continue listening your conversation with Natasha, but I'm going to start driving.
Absolutely. Be safe, be safe. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, and I think Cindy, whenever they have, like when Jasmine has the tax lady on, if I'm not mistaken, I believe there's a way through real estate. Don't quote me because I'm not a CPA or attorney or a tax advisor. I've learned that very well to say. But I believe there's a way that for even private school, you can write it under your company if you have them work for you. I feel like I've heard something like that before, Jasmine, on like one of the calls with like
Wow.
one of the people that, yeah, that one of the tax advisors.
Okay. Well, you know what?
That's
That is a very great idea, and I'm going to speak to my husband about it. He should know about it, but he I think he still think this is my fleeting interest that it won't last. But to me, this is very important. This is my second act, and I wanted to make it work. And so, but I will talk to him about it. That's a really great idea. Really great
Mhm.
idea.
Definitely talk to a CPA, and if you need talk to Gavi, she's one of our sponsors. You can ask her because everything that she does is strategized. Like, so you can tell her, right? Like, this is what I'm planning to do with my kids, and I can remember Natasha. Like, if anybody from the speakers mentioned that, like, I probably just forgot about it. But it sounds. I mean, there is a loophole for everything, honestly, with a tax code. So I put the
Yes.
link. I put on the link on the chat. If you want to talk to her, Cindy, and ask her. Let's see what she says. And if I think on who say that, or if I remember anything, I'll send you the recording so you can re watch it and, reach out to them directly. But yeah, that's a really, really good point, Natasha. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes, Natasha, that's a great idea. Yes.
And then I think the very first business advisor, I can't remember her name, but the very first meeting, maybe it was at the Hilton or the Westin in Houston. Like, I think it was like one of the very first ones. She was a business manager that might have talked about all of that too. If you remember her name at all, Jasmine, she was like
Yes.
one of
Uh-huh.
the very, very first ones.
Yes.
And I wish I
Yes.
could remember her name too, because even for business advice, like she was really good. And
Yeah, I remember her. What's her name? Yeah, I remember who you're talking about because she does a lot of tax planning and no tax planning. She does financial planning, like if you know how to set up your entities and um Harriet's, all those things. What's her name? Yeah, I remember her. Sometimes it's just like a lot of speakers that it's hard to remember everybody's name. But I'm looking for her. I know exactly who you're talking about. Uh,
yes, she was really good. She had a lot of things and a lot of advice and different things that she gave us. And I think she just charges like a flat rate instead of having every time you call, you know,
mhm.
I
So
just
on
wish I could
retainer,
remember.
yes.
Right. Yes, yes, just like one flat price instead of saying for every call, because that was one of the things she said. A lot of times people don't want to call their lawyers and ask a bunch of questions or advisors.
Oh, I
So,
found her. Arati.
okay,
Arati Bhattacharya.
okay.
That's her. It's her, right, Natasha? Do you see her? No?
Yes, 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 yes. So you have to put her information in there. Yes, that's
Uh-huh.
her. Yes.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, yes, yes. Break, well, okay, yes.
Yeah, if you put in the chat room, I will screenshot the chat room and look for it
Okay,
later. I'm driving right now, so I can't really do much. Um,
yes.
but I will screenshot the information and go back and look.
Yes, because she could probably tell you a lot about that. And I feel like it was some more people, either between the she call or the massive capital call.
Yeah. Are you here in Houston, Cindy?
No, I'm in Dallas,
Okay.
unfortunately. Otherwise, I would love to meet you in person. I know you had that little event for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And Natasha is physically there, but I'm here in Dallas.
Okay. So I'm gonna put I found her page on Instagram, so I'll
Mhm.
put the link so you can reach out to her.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, perfect. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you.
Awesome. Well, anything else, ladies? Any other questions, inputs, feedback, anything else?
I just want to say thank you for doing this. I think it's much needed. And, my daughter, she took a finance class when she was a junior in high school. And out of the 40 students there, she was the only girl. And they talked about this is a class that teach about, tax, investment, college, budgeting, scholarships, and they even were, at the beginning of the school year, they was asked to select a stock and kind of follow the stock through the semester to see how it ends. And but only she was the only girl in that class. The rest of them were boys. And then across the hallway, she was telling me was a home economic class. You know, it was the opposite. It's all girls, no boy. And so that's the contrast. I don't think we have emphasized enough about financial literacy and financial independence for girls, for women. So I'm very glad that you are doing what you're doing.
Oh, that means a lot.
Yeah.
That means a lot because like nights like this, right? Like it's only two people and it's okay, let's like, oh my gosh, should I keep doing this? And like just with that comment. that means like I need to keep showing up, right? Even if
Right,
it's one person, there's some events that are packed, or there's some sessions that are packed, but then some others that is just like two people, right? But
right,
I gotta keep remembering myself, like it's not about the quantity, it's about the impact. And just by you sharing that is just a refresher to me. Like I do have to keep doing this. There is somebody who needs the education, right? Because nobody teaches us this, right? Like even if you
right,
got your MBA and PhD, like nobody talks about finance, and nobody, for women it's not even, it's less, right? For men it's like,
right,
yeah, at least for men it's like, okay, contribute to your 401k, get the good job and all those things. For us it's just like, okay, they will take care of it. And yeah, I'm just very passionate about this, and there is a huge need, and I appreciate that you're sharing that.
right. So, okay, I need to go in now to the meeting. I'm going to say good night, ladies, and I will talk to you next week.
Sounds good, Sandy. Thank
All
you so
right.
much.
Thank
Anything
you.
else, Natasha, for you? Are you planning to join us next event in Houston?
I think Thursday, maybe it's something going on.
It's gonna be a Friday, the March 13th.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure that I plan to be in town for March 13th. And then I was looking at that on Instagram. It's a different person. That one was showing up as a lady in Detroit.
Oh yes, Candace.
No, for the Instagram, for the um for the lady you just showed the picture of. What did you say
Oh
her
really?
name was?
Arati was,
Yes.
yes. Oh really? That's not her firm?
No. No.
Okay, so that's somebody else. Let me see. Oh yes, let's see. Yeah, because she spoke in the in-person event, but she also spoke online. So okay, I see why. So let me put it here on the chat.
Okay. And then I'll make sure to give it to Cindy.
Yes.
And Jennifer was on for a little while earlier. I
Do
invited
you
her
know
too.
them? Are you friends with them?
Yes, I invited both of them.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. Do you get the text? We're also kind of like rebuilding
Yeah.
all the website and everything, but do you get the reminders?
Yes, thank goodness, because the reminders make it easy to just be able to hit my phone and get on Zoom and then pop onto the computer or whatever else. So it makes it a lot easier than emails because I
Yeah.
have 130,000 emails,
Yes.
which has been a little crazy, but this makes it like very easy when it pops up on the phone.
Yes, yes. And I wasn't sure if all the text messages got delivered, because I didn't get it. So it's like if I didn't get it, that means a lot of people didn't get it. So
Oh,
I'm glad you got it. So that's really good.
yes, it helps a lot. Maybe a
Hmm.
few times they haven't popped in and I've had to go, online and try to find it, but normally it pops in. I think maybe like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Okay, I found her.
Okay.
I'll put it here on the chat.
Perfect. Yes. Like all of this is so helpful. When I say it's very helpful, and I'm sure everyone else, even if they don't get a chance to see it immediately, they definitely get a chance to go back and watch it because it's been times that I've had to go back and like watch it and I was like, "Oh, thank goodness that you have all of this because we learn a lot. We learn a lot of different things and it helps us as far as just trying to get all of our stuff together to invest and do everything that we need to do that we don't even understand or know that we need to know."
Right, right. A lot of possibilities, right? That we don't know. Yeah.
Yes. And it gives us a lot of, like Cindy said, independence.
Hmm.
Yes, because that's very important for sure.
Yeah. I love how you say it because I also have the same experience. Like you get the luxury to work with who you want, right? Like, okay, if this is not aligned to me, or if this is not a person that, I want to work with, like you can confident, you can be confident about just living that and, start other things or just go with somebody else. So I have experienced that in, the land business, the commercial business. And it's just so clear and it's literally a luxury, right? Like you say, like when you can, it's definitely very, very useful.
Yes, especially in real estate. It's nice that you can pick and choose who you want to work with because everybody's not as, I guess I would say, easygoing or forthcoming. All those things that like I really, I like someone that they're structured, but then they're easygoing and they're an open book. They don't mind sharing, and all of that goes together for me versus, someone that just doesn't want to share or they don't want, they just are kind of, I don't know, not as friendly or
Yeah.
don't want to communicate, like all those things that make a really good business partner are the ones that I like. I'm like, everybody can have an off day, but for the most part, you're just like, okay, even on your off day, you still are like, well, here, you can just go ahead and look and see whatever it is you need to see, because I think the more we know, we won't have analysis paralysis, and we also won't be scared to do more. And it's kind of like the more we learn, the more we don't mind doing.
Yes, that's super, super powerful because, like, I don't know if you hear the stats, but it's like women take longer to invest 5 to 7 years more than men. But a lot of it is just a lack of education. Like, I don't know if this is the right move, right? Like, or I don't have anybody to ask him who understands this part, or, a lot of things that we don't understand that we're not exposed to. So, just having that exposure of knowing enough and then having a contact who is expert on that, right? So you can
Yes.
go back and ask more questions.
Yes, that's very important.
Yeah.
So you are very appreciated, and I'm glad to see that like you're doing this and you keep doing it because it is needed for sure.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you because I think you've been here since the very first one to, when I was with the ladies and then they left massive and then, I'm here. So I really appreciate you being through everything and still showing up. So I really, really appreciate you.
Yes, thank you. I always enjoy it and I try to make sure to make it unless I'm like somewhere where I can't make it, but I definitely try to make it.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much, Natasha. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate your input and your kind words. I'm so glad that we had this time to connect because sometimes it's just like we have speakers and a lot of people asking questions, but now it was just more like a one-on-one. So I really, really appreciate you.
Yes, and thank you for everything that you do because I
Oh,
know it's hard to keep showing up and then it's hard to when you see the numbers grow, when you see them go down, when you see them grow again, you're just like, "Oh my gosh," but you're doing a great thing.
oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Hopefully you can join us on our event in March and we will be in touch.
Yes, those look like two guilty pleasures for me.
Yeah, same.
So I definitely will.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Natasha. Have a good night.
Okay, you too.
Bye.
Bye.